Hey guys, what's up? It's Fern. Welcome back to another Plenty video. This is completely random, but it just popped into my head because I usually say my name when I start my videos. And recently, well, I did a Q&A, and whenever I do a Q&A, I always get the question of what is your name? Or is your name really Fern? And recently I got a comment on one of my last videos of someone saying like, I don't even know your name, like I really want to know your name. My name is Fern. That is my birth name, so yes. Hello. I know, it's kind of funny that I'm a plant person and my name is Fern. I did not assign that to myself though. So shout out to my mom. Yes, hello. Welcome to my November favorites video. Welcome to the last day of November. I am of course going to be sharing with you all of the plants that I have been especially loving over the last month. I think I have 8 to share with you, so I'm very excited to show them off and talk about them. If you're new here, hey, I make all different types of videos about houseplants, so if you're into plants, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I would love to have you, and I am so close, you guys, to 100,000 subscribers, and I honestly, like, I cannot believe it. It blows my mind. Every time I look at the numbers, I'm just like, oh my god. It feels very surreal because that has been a dream and a goal for me for a long time now, so thank you so much. I've been getting a lot of comments recently also with you guys being supportive and pointing that out, and just like, yeah, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. This might even be the last video that I post before we are over that 100,000 subscriber threshold. Yes, very exciting times, and I honestly couldn't ask for anything more for Christmas or for this holiday season, so thank you so much for such an amazing gift. Not me almost crying like 2 minutes into this video already. Okay, let's hop into the plants. That is why we're all here, am I right? So the first one that I'm going to be sharing with you today, I have not featured this plant in quite a while. I've had it for just over a year now. This is my trailing jade. The actual name, I'll put the botanical name on the screen. It was actually reclassified, so it's kind of known by like 2 different names because, you know, some people still know it as the old one, and then I think it's like a kleinia something is what it was reclassified into. But this is commonly called a trailing jade, and it's obviously received that name because of the leaves. They look very similar to like the traditional jade succulent leaves. However, this is not the same. This is not like, it might be related to that plant, but it's not like a form of the jade plant. Do you know what I mean? It's different. This is a very common, very accessible houseplant, at least where I am. You can find these in big box stores, plant stores, grocery stores, like really anywhere. They're affordable. I got this big basket for $14.99. And yeah, I honestly just think, first of all, I love trailing plants, and I've talked about this before, but I originally saw this on TikTok like, I don't know, sometime in 2020, and it had kind of like been on my radar since then, so I got it last year in 2021, and it suffered for honestly almost a year. Like, it's just been recently that it's really turned around. It was not doing well at all. I had no idea. I still don't know what I was doing wrong. I don't know if it maybe had a pest or something, because I did treat it a couple times because I just had no idea what was happening with it. But basically, I lost most of the plant, really. Like most of this is new growth. The vines were just like rotting and breaking off, so I would literally just like pick this up and a bunch of vines would just fall off. They were just breaking off like kind of up near the top, and the leaves would just like turn yellow and either get like mushy or just like dry out and fall off. It was honestly a mess, and I thought I was gonna lose this plant. I ended up taking a bunch of propagations. I think I repotted it too. Yeah, I think that this is my potting mix in here. And then I kind of just crossed my fingers and hope for the best. And something worked because it is doing so much better. It honestly, like, this is very long compared to what it was when I first cut it up. I'll try to find footage of when I when this was at its worst and I was in the process of repotting and everything, trying to revive it so that you can see the difference. But trust me, like, it's grown a ton. This is all new growth down here. It's super happy. There's tons of new growth happening at the top as well. So yeah, it's just been looking so amazing, and this hangs on my canopy bed frame, so I get to admire it all the time. So that's why it's just been catching my eye so much recently. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's so happy now and makes me really happy, and it's just such a cool plant. I think that this gives kind of like, I mean, I wish I could have it hanging from the ceiling because I feel like I'd get more of the effect then. But it gives a really cool kind of like boho look, kind of similar to like the look that a Hoya compacta or the burrow's tail succulent, two of my favorite plants, kind of like in the similar realm as that. So that's why I really like it. I just like any unique kind of trailing plant. So yeah, this is my first favorite, and I'm just so glad that she's still around and doing great. So yeah, trailing jade. Go pick one up if you don't have one. They are very cheap, and when they're doing well, they grow really fast because she's really just been taken off. Okay, I think I actually have 9 plants to share because I don't think I counted this one because it was kind of sitting off to the side, but I definitely have to include this one. I actually just posted a photo on Instagram, so maybe you've seen it, but you know, I need to show her off everywhere on all platforms. So this is my Philodendron gloriosum. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe how big she's getting. I honestly can't believe it because this is another plant that, I mean, I wouldn't say that I've specifically struggled with, but it just has never felt like it's been doing amazing. And if you look at some of the older leaves, try not to move too much because my couch is so squeaky, but this plant's so big that I kind of have to. Like she just, I don't know, she's just never really looked great. Like this doesn't look awful, but she's definitely doesn't look like she was like living her best life back here. And she lost a couple leaves down here. She had spider mites. Like it's just really been a journey. And on Instagram, I also posted in that post like a comparison of this plant 2 years ago. It was a tiny baby when I first got it, and now she's all grown up. So I'll put that photo here. It's so cool to look back and see how far my plants have come. Like it's honestly my favorite thing just to see the comparison, and it really makes me realize like, okay, I've felt over the past couple years that this plant was never really thriving. But looking at that photo, I'm like, wow, she has actually done incredibly, and it just makes me so proud. So yeah, this is her newest leaf. Whew, I'm so excited in this video. I'm honestly out of breath. This is her newest leaf. Oh my goodness, this is difficult, you guys, because she's in this very heavy terracotta rectangular planter as well, which I get so many questions about this planter, and I honestly, like, I don't have a link or anything because I just found it locally, so I'm so sorry, and I've never seen them again, or else I would buy another one. Anyways, this is the newest leaf here, and it's massive. This is by far the biggest leaf that I have ever gotten on a gloriosum. I used to have 2 gloriosums, and I lost my other one to thrips last year, RIP, so yeah, this is the only one I have left. But I'm glad that this one survived because this is the one that I've had since it was a tiny little baby. But yeah, I was so blown away when I saw this new leaf come out and unfurled just within the past couple of weeks. And I was just not expecting it to be so big and so healthy and so happy. So yeah, that is why, of course, she is on my favorites. But oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm so proud of her. And for a long time, I never really got the hype on gloriosum. Like I was like, okay, like they're all right, but I've never really been into crawlers, and mine was never doing amazing. Like I wasn't really getting those big, huge leaves that I was seeing on other people's. So now that I am starting to see some of those results, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like I'm obsessed. I can see this being one of my favorite plants, like of all months, of all time. So yeah, really into this right now, really excited about it, and it just makes me so happy whenever I look at her. So yeah, if you are struggling with gloriosum, just, you know, stick it out. I mean, try to figure out what's going on, of course, because there was multiple things going on with this plant. She's actually in a bit lower lighting than what she was in before, and I think that she prefers that. I've had her in a lot of different conditions, and I feel like she's just very happy with where she is right now. So yeah, she's actually getting less light and less humidity, and she's popping off. So yeah, very happy about this. Oh, shit. All right, so the next plant on my list is actually an Anthurium, and I have not one, but two Anthurium in this favorites video, which is very unusual for me because I'm not the biggest Anthurium person. I'm definitely getting more into them, but it's really a genus that I struggle with more than others. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. But when they are doing well, I'm like, oh my goodness, obsessed. So the one that I'm going to be talking about right now is my Anthurium crystallinum magnificum hybrid, and oh my goodness. So as soon as this, I received this probably about half a year ago now, and it was kind of, well, I received it and I was like, oh wow, like honestly quite taken aback by how pretty it was. And then it kind of started going downhill. So you can see there's damage on these older leaves. I think I had it too close to a grow light, and then, you know, underwatering and whatever else was going on. But as it started to grow, I kind of started falling in love with it. So this is the leaf that it put out, the first leaf it put out that I was really like able to appreciate this plant because it came in looking pretty nice. I mean, it's not 100% perfect, but as far as Anthurium leaves go in this household, I was very impressed. It's so, I mean, we're not directly in the sun, so you're not gonna be able to see, but it's so sparkly, and I love the red margin. It's just like, yeah, and the red petioles. Like, I've never had an Anthurium crystallinum before. And when, you know, when I was first getting into houseplants and thinking about Anthurium, it was basically like the two kind of popular options were Anthurium clarinervium, and for like entry level Anthurium, Anthurium clarinervium and Anthurium crystallinum. And I went with the clarinervium, and I had that one for a while, and it did pretty well for me. And because I had that one, I just didn't feel like I really needed the crystallinum, I guess. But now that I see this plant, this crystallinum hybrid, I'm kind of like, okay, I think I might actually prefer Anthurium crystallinum. Yeah, it's just like, wow, this has just given me a new appreciation for sure. And something else that I love about this plant is the new leaves coming in. So as you can see, there is a little baby leaf coming in there. I mean, it's actually getting pretty big now. But they come in just this beautiful bronzy color, and yeah, I love it so much. Like, look at how beautiful that is. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, it's just so fun to watch them come in, and then they eventually like settle down into their green color and get their sparkles and everything. But like, oh my goodness, what a little cutie. So since this new leaf was coming in, and it took me by surprise, I didn't even notice it, and then suddenly I looked in my cabinet and I was like, oh my gosh, like there's the full-blown new leaf emerging. So yeah, just so fun to watch and such a beautiful plant. I really hope that this continues to grow well for me. Like, it's doing pretty well. I think I've got it down now. Like, I think I have it in a spot where it's happy, and if I can just keep up with the watering, I think that this is gonna do well for me. So yeah, very excited about this one, and I've just really been appreciating it lately. Okay, next I have a Hoya, and I think that this is the only Hoya on my favorites list, and it is my Hoya New Guinea Ghost. This is a relatively new Hoya to my collection, and it was a wishlist Hoya. I got it in a trade. I have a whole haul video for that trade, which, oh my goodness, I got so many amazing plants. But yeah, I'm really into silvery plants and silvery Hoya. So this was, you know, kind of at the top of my Hoya wish list. I love the minty kind of leaves. These can actually sun stress like purple. Oh my goodness, they're just so pretty. Mine's obviously not like sun stressed or anything right now. I have a really hard time sun stressing Hoya. Like, I don't know, I just, in the sun under grow lights, like, it just never really happens for me. But I mean, maybe if I had this in a south facing window or something. But it's only sunny for part of the year, so I don't know. But anyways, my Hoya New Guinea Ghost, this is one of my favorites because I think it's given me 4 new leaves since I received it. 3 or 4. 3 for sure, but possibly 4. Maybe even more than that, honestly. I can't even remember which one started. This immediately started growing for me, like after shipping and everything. There was really like no, it didn't miss a beat. It just kept growing. Like, there was a vine coming out immediately, and yeah, it's giving me these beautiful leaves. So I just wanted to give you all an update and let you know how this Hoya is doing. I want to repot this and I want to trellis this soon, so that's on my list of to-dos. But yeah, it's just doing so well so far and it's so cute. So yeah, it's really been a favorite, and I can't, the other ones from that haul, my other Hoya, have not, one of them has shot out a new vine, but the others haven't really done much. So this is kind of the only one that I have to update on, but yeah, as soon as the other ones are growing, I'll update you on those as well. Okay, next we have our first philodendron on the list. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. And that is my Philodendron Brantanum. Now, I never thought I would see the day where this plant would be on my favorites list, because I used to really dislike this plant. I just did not think that it was attractive. I didn't get the hype. This was actually on like my first episode of Plants I Dislike, which is funny because, and I've said before, I think in the second episode that I did of that, I was saying that, you know, it's interesting that our plant tastes can change and evolve over time. And I've definitely experienced that with a few different plants, and this is one of those. So yeah, this is my Philodendron Brantanum, and I think that it is absolutely stunning. Like, oh my goodness, just look at her leaves. Oh man, I just think she's so, so pretty. I specifically like this whole setup that I have going on. Like, I'm obsessed with everything. I love the way that it looks with the terracotta pot. I love the clear grow pole. This is by Thickly, just with sphagnum moss inside, and it's secured to the pole with my favorite little dragonfly plant clips. Like, the whole vibe of this is just, I'm very, very into it. And the plant has also been loving it. As you can see, she's growing up the pole and she's also like rooted into it. So yeah, she seems to be very happy. These can be fussy with humidity, so I have her in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet, the Millsbo wide, and she seems very happy in there. But yeah, just, oh my goodness, I can't wait to see her grow up this even more and like fill out more as well, because I do have several cuttings in here. So yeah, I'm just really happy with how it's growing. And I think that I made a reel of, because I propagated this plant and then potted them together in here, the cuttings, and this is where we're at today. But if I can find any footage, I'll show you kind of how it looked when I first potted it up. But yeah, as you can see, there's a new leaf about to unfurl. I'm not sure why, but I was getting a couple of really like deformed leaves coming in, so I had to cut them. I didn't have to. I chose to cut them off, so I do have a couple vines that were just recently cut, and then they'll have to put out new growth points and grow again. But I chose to do that rather than have like a couple of leaves that I just really wasn't happy with on the plant. And I don't think that there's any shame in doing that, honestly. If a leaf comes in weird and I don't like it, I am totally comfortable with just chopping that off. And then the plant will just regrow. And especially in this type of situation where it's really bushy, like, it's not going to be noticeable that that ever happened. So yeah, but yeah, I just really love the way that this is looking lately. So yeah, my Philodendron Brantanum. Okay, we have actually a couple more philodendrons, so I'm just gonna do another one right now. This is my beautiful Philodendron gigas. Now, I have been kind of giving updates on this plant a little bit on my channel because it started putting out a bunch of different growth points and just kind of growing like crazy. I don't know if you can see up here, but yeah, it started shooting out like multiple, whoops, this was just one vine, and now I have like multiple vines coming out everywhere on this plant. So it's just been a very interesting thing to witness. But as you can see, I have two new leaves on this plant. So here is one. So cute. And then here's the other one. This one's slightly bigger. Like, look at that. Oh my goodness, I am in love. I love how the new leaves come in very like orange, very coppery. They were even more, oh my goodness, it's so pretty. I don't think that it's showing as much on camera how coppery they are, but in person, like, wow, it is so, so gorgeous. And then the leaves obviously change to this beautiful deep dark green color. Now, if you see any weird specks on this plant, like you can see there's white spots over here, that is sulfur because I'm currently dealing with a big flat mite situation. If you haven't heard about flat mites, they are a pest that is really like being talked about in the Hoya community right now. You can only see them with a microscope, and they can just be a big pain in the butt basically. So I found them on some of my Hoya in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet, the Mills Tall. If you follow me on Instagram, then you probably have seen me posting about this, but I found them in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet on some of the Hoya. And then I started looking at other plants, and they're basically on everything in there. Like they're on my Anthurium, they're on my Philodendron. So I'm basically doing sulfur treatments on every single plant in my house because I've moved plants around so much in and out of that cabinet, and they could really just be anywhere. So I'm just, you know, I don't want to have to deal with it again. I just want to get it done. So if you see, I've washed it off obviously, but there's still like, you know, like this is, I didn't wash the back so you can see what it looks like. But if you see white on any of my plants for the next like couple of months, that's why, that's what's going on. I'm just trying to get rid of this flat mite situation. Yeah, definitely a pain in the butt, but in a way I'm really glad to have found that because so many of my plants have been suffering for a long time and I didn't really know why because obviously they're microscopic. So yeah, like my Anthurium that have been yellowing and like giving me deformed leaves, I found flat mites on them. So that's why I was saying earlier, it's possible that I don't just completely suck at Anthurium. They could just be infested with flat mites. So yeah, that's why I'm treating everyone. But, anyways, yeah, regardless, I don't think that this one was like badly affected or anything, but I'm still treating it, so that's why it's wet right now because I just sprayed the sulfur off. But yeah, I'm just so happy with how this plant is growing, and it's been so cool to see it put out all those different growth points. So I basically just wanted to give y'all a little update on it. It's at the top of its pole, as you can see, and I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Like, I guess I could, maybe I should try to extend it, honestly, because it's got different vines coming out and everything. It might be fun to kind of extend, so maybe I will do that. This is a grow pole from North Shore Tropicals, and I actually ordered a plant from North Shore Tropicals recently, and I should have added more of these to my order to extend the ones that I already have. I think I might actually have an extra one to extend this, so yeah, maybe I should extend this. Let me know what you think I should do. Leave me a comment down below. I've been chopping a lot lately, so maybe I should opt for the extend and just continue to grow this plant up. But yeah, Philodendron gigas, love it so much, and I'm so glad that she's coming back to life for us. Okay, we are hopping back into Anthurium, and I've definitely spoken about how much I love this Anthurium recently. Basically since I received it, actually. It's just been like such an amazing hybrid to grow. This is the Magnificum luxurians hybrid. I got this from North Shore Tropicals as well, and I'm just honestly like in love with this Anthurium. It is so beautiful. I love the way that it looks. I love the texture. I love the sheen. It almost has like a blue cast to it. Like, oh my goodness. It is so, every time I see it, I'm just like, wow. Like, honestly, remarkable. This is also another one that I just washed the sulfur off of. But yeah, it not only is it so beautiful, but this has been honestly one of the easiest Anthuriums for me to grow. It does not complain about anything. I've underwatered so many times and it doesn't even drop a leaf. Like, it blows my mind a little bit. I would put this in the same realm as my Anthurium pallidiflorum. I've said that that's my easiest Anthurium, but honestly this one is just as easy. And I'm so into the way that it looks. I really don't have anything like this. Well, I do have I think I have another luxurians hybrid which looks similar to this, but I prefer this one so far. They're both still small like this. But yeah, I'm so excited to watch this grow. This is also living in the flat mite cabinet, and I don't know if it has flat mites or not. I haven't inspected every single plant. I've just inspected enough in there to know that I need to treat all of them. So I don't know if it specifically has had any flat mites, but it hasn't acted like it, honestly. Like, it's just been so easygoing. And yeah, I never thought that I would be one to be into this type of Anthurium, but I'm very into it. I really, really like this one. and it came to me just as like a little tiny baby seedling, so it's been really fun to watch it grow, and I'm looking forward to seeing it grow even more. So yeah, I just had to throw this one in here because I'm honestly just obsessed. It's perfection. Okay, and the next one, actually the last two are kind of grouped together into one. You'll see why, but the last one that I wanted to talk about is my Philodendron subhastatum. Now this is one that I have had for a little while now, probably like a year and a half, and I got it as just like a small plant with maybe like a few leaves on it. And I grew it out, and then I decided to completely chop it up. I'm not sure why. I think maybe it had been neglected and it wasn't looking great. I completely chopped it up, and I think like in the spring or summer I potted those cuttings up, and now they've grown into this plant. So I have several vines in here. As you can see, it's very unruly. So there's a lot of different vines growing up. It's in this small pot, it needs to be repotted. But I love this pot, like, oh my goodness, how cute. But yeah, this is one that I'm always seeing, and I'm like, I need to pay more attention to this plant. I need to show it off more and just kind of like put more effort into growing it because I really do love it. But I feel like the subhastatum is so overlooked, and I don't know why, because I mean, it's easy for me to neglect this plant because it's so hardy that it can handle the neglect. So the plants that can handle the neglect are typically the ones that get neglected in my collection. But like the bottoms of this plant, the underside of the leaf, like, are you kidding me? That is so pretty. And when you have a new leaf coming in and you can see the red, especially on like a more mature plant, like I've seen photos before and it just looks like, oh my goodness, so stunning. These can actually get quite big, which I didn't know until I started seeing photos recently, because I've always had mine just stay around this size, and that's probably because it's always been kind of neglected. But now I'm thinking like, okay, I would love to try to size this up. Because like, how incredible would it be to have like a big leaf of this? Yeah, I love this plant. Again, this one is kind of wet and spotty because of the sulfur, but yeah, I also like the texture, or like, I don't know, I want to say the quilting, like the texture of the top of the leaf. I just think that it's really pretty, and something that kind of stands out to me about the subhastatum as well. So yeah, very fast grower, very chill plant, and I just want to kind of appreciate it a little bit more and kind of put more effort into growing this and getting it to grow bigger, because I do really like it. And it would just be cool to see it reach its full potential, you know? Well, not its like full potential, because we're not out in the tropics here, but anyways, and then the second plant or the last plant, I guess, that I'm kind of grouping it together, I'm grouping it together because it's the same plant, but it's the variegated version, and I've really been appreciating this one recently too, and I kind of wanted to give an update on this because I don't know when it was, like maybe near the end of the summer, I was talking about this plant and I was like, you guys, I have no idea what this is. Like, does it have a disease? Like, what is going on? Because this was a plant that was just kind of like came out of my prop box, and everyone was like, girl, that is a variegated subhastatum. So ever since then, I've been like, oh my god, how freaking cool. And now that it's getting bigger, I can really tell, like, oh my gosh, look at that. It's so red. Are you kidding me? Like, wow, what a cool plant. So it of course has the variegated subhastatum backs, but then not variegated, the red subhastatum backs, but then it also has the variegated like front of the leaves. And it's a very kind of strange variegation on this plant. Like, it looks kind of like mottled. Like, it's honestly like not the prettiest variegation, but it's still cool just that there is a variegated version of this plant and that I have it and I didn't even know it. Very cool. I actually had 2 of them growing in here, and then I traded one of them this fall. So I just have this like big main plant, and I also just repotted this the other day too because it was just in a tiny container, and it's also giving me a little tiny baby here. So I guess I technically have 2 again, which is cool. And the little baby is variegated as well. So yeah, just very cool. Don't really see these a lot. Don't really know what to expect, but I do want to see it get bigger. I should actually have this climbing so that I can see it grow even faster and even more. But yeah, really really cool and probably one of the more unique plants in my collection. So yeah, I've just been trying to pay it a little bit more attention, and like I said, I repotted it and everything because it was just drying out so quickly. So I think that it's going to be happier now, and again, it grows really fast. So yeah, my two little variations of subhastatum that I have. Okay, so sometimes in my favorites I like to throw in my favorite plant product, a product that I've like related to plant care or related to plants that I've really been enjoying for the month. And I had to choose my Trofolia self-watering moss poles for this month. I have really been into, I've been into these for years now, but recently I've been getting more plants on them, and I've also been doing fun projects. Like I recently chopped up my Monstera albo, and I kept 2 parts of that on different moss poles. Like I just removed the extension and was able to just pot that up as a new plant, if that makes any sense. If you haven't seen the video, I'll link it down below so you can go watch it if you're interested. But yeah, I recently got my Philodendron Brantanum on this self-watering Trofolia moss pole, and I chose to use this type of moss pole just because it's very sturdy, and these can get very big. Again, this has the sulfur on it. I just treated it this morning, so that's why it looks so speckled. But yeah, they're just amazing moss poles. Very easy to maintain, very easy to water. They usually just, you can just keep the funnel on top here, and yeah, I literally can just like bring a glass of water over and dump it in, and they stay moist. Also has a very sturdy base, which is what makes this, you know, such a stable moss pole. All of my plants that I've given a Trofolia moss pole do really well climbing up it. I recently extended my Philodendron painted ladies as well. So yeah, definitely, I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like my plants are very bougie whenever they have these moss poles rather than my DIY ones. So yeah, I've just been appreciating them a lot over the past like couple of months. So yeah, that is my favorite house plant product for the month of November. Alright, so that is going to be it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you did, and write me a nice comment down below. I would love to chat with you. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for helping me hit 100,000 subscribers, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!